Did you know that the average person has had 15 jobs and changed their career direction 3 times by the age of 50? With the global challenges that we're all facing and the increasing pace of change, it can be difficult to figure out how we can build a career that is rewarding and adds value to the lives of in our community. So are you ready for life after university? Welcome to this Employability Skills Programme session on how to think and act like an entrepreneur. I'm Nick Fannin from Bright Red Triangle, which is the enterprise hub for Edinburgh Napier University. I'm going to talk to you about how you can use entrepreneurial tools, methods and principles to help you design your future and attempt to successfully achieve the goals you set yourself in your career and in your personal life. Why am I going to talk about these things? Well, because starting your own business or self-employment should be a serious career option for you. Did you know that 15% of the UK workforce are self-employed? And that number is growing. A significant proportion of all new jobs created in the last few years have been self-employed. And over 40% of young people in Generation Z have said that they would like to set up their own business or be their own boss. Also because the skills that entrepreneurs require to be successful are also the skills that employers say they are looking for. In order to compete in the market these days, employers want people that can get things done, and that essentially is what entrepreneurs do. They get things done. So what are entrepreneurial skills? Well, we've got a list here which includes being curious and being able to spot and take advantage of opportunities. Also being able to build networks and teams and to communicate effectively. If you throw in attributes like proactivity, tenacity and resilience, then you start to see a set of skills and behaviours that can make things happen. So how do people usually get things done? Well, what we're often taught is that we have a goal and that if we plan out and follow a step-by-step approach, we will achieve that goal. A lot of business programs follow this approach where your teacher knows the right answer and will teach you how to get there. This is often also the basic pattern for careers advice and self-help books, etc. However, the first problem that we encounter often is that we need to know what our goals are in the first place. And, well, do you know what your goals are? Have you really thought about them in great depth? Are your goals well defined? Sometimes, even though we've set ourselves goals, we have difficulty achieving them. Because we haven't really thought them through. We haven't thought how we're going to go about achieving those goals. That maybe explains why so many of us fail to stick to our New Year resolutions. Entrepreneurs tend to be curious by nature and are constantly searching for their purpose and for ways that they can add value. They're constantly searching for goals that they want to achieve. I think that when you're looking to find your purpose, then it often lies in the sweet spot at the centre of these 3 lenses. Start with considering your interests. What do you like doing? If you're going to spend a significant amount of time doing something, then ideally it should be something you're passionate about, right? Also think about what skills, knowledge and experience you have and how you might use it. How can you add value to a project? Finally, also think about your own personality. Hopefully you've done a personality test, so it will come in handy at this point. But think about what environments or scenarios are you comfortable in, and think about where someone like you might be able to add value. Once you've figured out what your goals are, then you can start to make a plan to achieve them. If you do have clearly defined goals, then goal setting and planning methods are great for helping you achieve them. The problem is that you don't just need a well-defined goal, you also need a stable and unchanging environment, and the world is a very chaotic place. Circumstances change all the time, things rarely go the way we think they will, and we're constantly faced with challenges. It's not easy getting stuff done. Achieving success is a very messy process. You need well-defined goals and a stable environment, but where do we find that? This is a map that shows all the places where students at Edinburgh Napier come from. You're part of a global community that will emerge from our university, all looking for their next career move, which is great. But the challenge is that everybody else is out there is looking for the next career move as well. And if you replicate that across universities across the globe, it does make a challenge. There's a tremendous amount of uncertainty in the world today, and that makes finding the right job very difficult, and it changes your approach to things. It stresses us out and can make us cautious. It can also make our existing jobs difficult, which could make us unhappy. A significant portion of the global workforce say that they're unhappy in their jobs. Entire industries can disappear overnight due to unforeseen events, such as global pandemics. COVID-19 has led to huge numbers of us sitting in front of our computers at home. We're all in the same position. Why should an employer pay you more than somebody else in Asia or Africa or Southern Europe? So how do you create value independently and remotely? This will be important to your job security. The performance of the global economy is outside of your control, but it has a major impact on the companies that would employ you. People get made redundant in times of economic uncertainty. You've got recessions, depressions, low growth, excessive debt are all there. The global, the national, the company and the personal level. Market bubbles come and go, and it's likely that you will face greater economic uncertainty than your parents, and that's a new thing in history. There's a quote from Justin Trudeau which goes like this: "The pace of change has never been this fast and will never be this slow again." Competition, technological advances such as automation or the development of artificial intelligence can all bring new and rapid change. There are constantly new products and services available, new trends, new fashions, new communication platforms. There's new software to learn, new hardware to figure out, new skills required. Product life cycles have shortened, revenue sources come and go, projects and contracts get shorter, and nobody's job is safe. Oh yeah, and did I mention climate change? The planet is doomed. There is some good news now, though, and that is that all of this uncertainty presents opportunities. Now, more than ever, the world needs people of all kinds who can think and act entrepreneurially, who can transform opportunity into reality and create social and economic value for themselves and for others. So let's go back to thinking about how to get things done and how entrepreneurs do this differently. Okay? If you've got a clear goal and a stable environment with a known set of resources, then you can easily create a plan to achieve the goal. As we've seen, though, the world is chaotic. So how do entrepreneurs approach this? Well, people often think of entrepreneurs as mavericks and rule breakers who find new ways to circumvent the rules, and actually they do something a little bit different. So what do? Well, entrepreneurs tell stories. And what do I mean by this? Well, they usually begin in a position where they don't really know where to start. Challenging circumstances often mean that their only choice is to act, to do something. The story will emerge over time. They'll find contributors or stakeholders who will add something new and unplanned to the mix. They will build a team of collaborators who will help them build the story together. Structure will also emerge over time, but there'll be surprises and direction changes along the way. The story doesn't always have a happy ending, but there'll be learning and value in the journey, and the entrepreneur will move on to tell the next story. Some more good news in this is that I believe entrepreneurship is a discipline, and so you'll get better if you practice. Think of it like football. If you practice, then your ball skills will improve, but it only really makes sense if you practice with other people. The game comes alive when you're in a team. So I want to describe 5 common traits displayed by successful entrepreneurs. Number 1 is that they join a tribe, by which I mean that they find a community of shared interest from which they can build a team and understand their stakeholders. You'll be doing this in your project teams on this program. Entrepreneurs will also test their ideas by sharing them. They talk to their community, they tell stories and listen to feedback, which helps them to make their ideas better. People often want to keep their ideas secret in order to protect them, but the reality usually is that ideas developed in isolation tend not to work. Entrepreneurs think and act quickly. They get on with it. They learn quickly from their mistakes, and their speed of action tends to give their projects momentum. Entrepreneurs will calculate acceptable loss. They make quick decisions about how much time, energy and money they're going to put into something before giving up. Finally, entrepreneurs learn from failure. They embrace failure as an opportunity to learn. The idea is to fail fast and cheaply, but learn from it and move quickly on to the next thing. So, here's a quick recap on thinking and acting like an entrepreneur. What we want you to do is think about the impact that you want to have and figure out the direction that you want to go in. And then we want you to get on with it. Start with the resources that you have. Don't wait for people to hand it to you on a plate. Just use what you've got. Fail fast and cheaply. Remember to calculate affordable risk. Your money, your reputation, your time. What are you prepared to lose to keep this project going? Be tenacious. Keep at it. Spread your risk and acquire resources as you go along. You can do this by networking and telling stories. Bring people along with you. Persuade people. This is where you need to hone your pitching skills, your communication skills. Finally, stop when you've exceeded your affordable risk. Whether you simply don't want to do something anymore, or maybe you've proved it can't be done. You'll know when it's time to stop. I will say this, acting like an entrepreneur will not guarantee success, but it will open up more opportunities for you. And what does all that mean for you? Well, there are 4 key areas where you can apply your entrepreneurial skills and attitudes. The first is, of course, in starting up your business, whether it's a high growth startup, a lifestyle business, or just a side hustle to make a bit of extra money. The second area is what you might call corporate entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship, where you can be entrepreneurial and add value when you work for somebody else's company. Companies are always looking to find an edge and to add value to their products or services. They need entrepreneurial people to do that. The third area is for all those people that just want to change the world, who want to tackle the big challenges in society, such as climate change, poverty, racism, or gender inequality, for example. Social entrepreneurs can have an impact and add value to their local or even global communities. The skills required are the same. Finally, developing an enterprising mindset is personally empowering. It will help you to positively go after the things that you want to achieve in your career and in your personal life too. This employability skills program is designed for you to learn enterprise skills through doing a project where you have to come up with an idea to solve a problem. You will need to work with your team to identify an opportunity and come up with a good idea. You will need to test your ideas by talking to potential clients or customers, and you will need to tell the story of your journey. These are all things that you would be expected to do in the workplace for real, and so this is a great opportunity for you to start practicing. The experience that you get, particularly if you throw yourself into this program, will look great on your CV. So remember, you need to think carefully about what you want to achieve before you set out your goals and plan your project. Entrepreneurship is a really good way to deal with uncertainty. Think about driving a car. You don't always know exactly where you're going, and the road conditions can sometimes be difficult or challenging, but at least it's your hands on the steering wheel. Get to know your team and use your networks. Share stories about yourself and your ideas to get people interested. And finally, enterprise skills require practice, but like most things, if you put the hours in, you'll improve. So thank you and good luck with the program.